your favorite African futurist, that's Roze Phillips. It's time now for our chat with our favorite futurist. She joins us on alternate Mondays. She talks about what it takes to unlock an abundance mindset and create better futures for business, planet, society, and for you. Number one as well, Dr. Roze, the founder and CEO of Abundance at Work, a human capital and leadership development company that helps rewire default mindsets and workplace cultures for good. You can find that more at abundanceatwork.co.za. So if you're unraveling, if change is the only thing that is enveloping your life, you want to listen in. We're talking to youth shaming and how we waste our youth. Today we're talking about that, and not because they're unqualified, I guess, but because we only see them in economic terms: unemployed, not productive enough, not ready. I guess someone who's spent a life helping leaders listen differently. Dr. Roze Phillips, culture strategist and a voice for dignity. Welcome. Always great to have you.
Hello, Clarence. Hello, listeners. And yes, I thought this would be a perfect topic for Youth Month.
Indeed it is. What is shame, and why is it different to guilt? Maybe we should start there.
Yeah, let's start there. You know what? Shame is one of the most corrosive emotions a human being can feel, especially when you're still forming your identity. If you do a Google Ngram, it's a sort of Ngram search, right? Then in that thing, it measures the frequency with which a word appears in printed text over a given historical period. And if you look at it from 2000 to 2025 now, then you find out that the word shame has become more common than the word guilt. Now, interestingly, you asked the question, what is shame and why is it different from guilt? Shame and guilt often is very, very much confused by people. But here's the difference. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame, however, says, I am bad. Now, of course, you can imagine with guilt, that means that you can motivate repair and responsibility. You can make change happen, right? There's actions that you can take. The problem with shame is that it attacks identity. It's about who you are. And it often, therefore, leads to withdrawal and silence and depression and despair. And that is a problem.
Capiche. Let's talk about the actual psychology here. You've invented another term, youth shaming. What does shame, I guess, do to a young person's brain, their sense of self? Why is youth shaming a real danger?
Yeah, you know what, Clarence, that's the important question. That's why you're right, I invent these words or these phrases. And that's why I thought, let's look at this a little bit differently. Because here's the thing. Neuroscience shows us that shame activates the same neural circuit as physical pain in your brain. It literally feels to the brain like you're being burnt or you being punched or you being cut. Imagine that. And when shame comes from the very people who are supposed to see you, guide you, mentor you, help you, it doesn't just hurt, it distorts who you think you are. You start believing that you're the problem instead of the system, which is actually the problem. You think, maybe I am lazy. Maybe I do deserve to be broke. Maybe I haven't tried hard enough. And that internal script, Clarence, that thing that goes through the mind of our young people, it's quite deadly because it turns real external barriers like inequality or unemployment or educational debt into a private, quiet shame that they carry with them. But let me say this very, very clearly, and I want to hear every single youth to hear this. If you're struggling in a broken system, that doesn't make you broken. It is the system that's broken. Shame doesn't build resilience, it builds silence. And silence, especially with our young people, can become despair. And that, Clarence, that is why youth shaming is dangerous.